All right, let's talk about it. Personality, does it matter to business success? Well, we're about to uncover three particular personality constructs that have been related to business success in one way or another. So I wonder how many of these personality dimensions you have. Let's jump into it. All right, so the first one is already leading the pack: core self evaluation and other personality characteristics. These are just characteristics or components of who you are, who a person can be, that specifically relate to your ability to achieve and perform within the business area, or also actually in other areas such as sports, etc. So let's take a look at what we have here. All right, core self-evaluation. What in the world is this? So your core self-evaluation is your bottom line conclusion about who you are, your capabilities, your competence, and your worth as a person. Your core self-evaluation is kind of similar to self-esteem that gets thrown around in our society a lot. But at the end of the day, what core self-evaluation is, and if we're really looking at the term, we can even deduce this, but at the core, when you evaluate yourself, what do you come up with? When you evaluate your capabilities, your worth, your contribution, your competence, where are we at with this? And what's interesting about this dimension is that people who have positive core self evaluations, they see themselves as effective, capable, and in control. And even in the literature and in science, the way you see yourself and the way you identify impacts the way you behave. So individuals tend to have, on average, either positive or negative core self-evaluation, which can impact the process to which they engage in their work and potentially also the outcomes. What's important to note is that some people, and you may even recognize it in yourself or observe it in others, can have a low core self-evaluation and still produce at high levels. But the process to getting to that high level production is usually very ineffective or harmful to the team process or to the individual. Why? Because when we have a negative core self-evaluation, when we don't think we're too capable, when we don't think we're too competent, when we don't think we really have a lot of self-worth, when we are acting out in our world, we're going about it through that low evaluation of ourselves. So we're usually not making the best decisions, not putting ourselves in the best situations. And so overall, we do want our employees, and we all also for ourselves, we want ourselves to have a positive core self-evaluation so it can predict not only the outcomes of our behaviors, but the process to those behaviors as well. So I mean, overall, it's kind of harsh, right? But that, when we do have this negative core self-evaluation, at the core, we just kind of see ourselves more towards the negative side. Of course, the impact of that is you dislike yourself. And that is really tough to produce excellence when you have disdain from the source of excellence, right? So we do know that core self-evaluation is a very popular personality characteristic that has been applied to the organizational context, to success, etc. So it's important to know even for yourself, but potentially we may even want to measure this in particular situations for hiring practices. We also have the component of self-monitoring. So this is measures an individual's ability to adjust his or her behavior to external or situational factors. So are you the type of person that you can automatically understand the shift in energy and vibes in a group? Like, at the exact moment when things start to shift and then you act accordingly. And have you ever observed the person who did not have that skill at all, where no matter where the energy went, the vibes went, they still just couldn't have a clue, and they're saying off the wall things when it doesn't seem appropriate? Well, some of us, we all vary on our level of self-monitoring. This is what it's called. It's referring to self-monitoring, our ability to see in our environment that things have kind of shifted, especially people to people, especially our interactions. And because there has been a shift in our environment, if we are high self-monitorers, we then kind of adjust ourselves accordingly. And so individuals high in self-monitoring show considerable adaptability, of course, because they are already vigilant in surveilling their environment. This comes naturally to them. This is something that, again, is a personal personality characteristic. So that means habitually over your lifespan, we can probably see patterns of you either being that person that's always noticing shifts or not. And so noticing that those shifts allow you to have that adaptability to change when things in the environment change. People that are high in self-monitoring are also highly sensitive to external cues. Of course, you have to be able to notice those shifts, and can behave differently in different situations. So chameleon, so to speak. So if you think of yourself as a chameleon, if you think of yourself as being able to fit in any group, you probably have a high self-monitoring personality characteristic. And if you've ever been told that, you definitely have a different personality from when you're out and about to when you're just sitting at home, or you can even just notice that for yourself, then again, this could be a sign of high self-monitoring. The last personality characteristic that we've seen really infiltrate our organizational behavior research and business and tying it to business success and success overall is proactive personality. And this is something that we definitely see very common in hiring managers to kind of try to tap into in the interview process. So let's talk about what proactive personality is all about. So these types of people always are able to identify an opportunity. Maybe if you're a friend, or you of someone like this, or you've seen this person, you could be in the same situation as them, and then they see an opportunity, and you're just like, how did you get that from this? They can see opportunities almost anywhere, people that are high in proactive personality. And they not only can see these endless opportunities to better themselves or to solve a problem, they also show initiative. They also are able to identify the opportunity and actually go towards it, take action. And also, the number one thing is not only can they identify it and take action, but they can also actually persevere to the end, and actually follow that idea and that identification of opportunity all the way to its end state, which is amazing because, of course, so many of us may have particular parts of this proactive personality. And what I mean by that is some of us see opportunities everywhere, but we don't initiate. Or some of us initiate, but we never persevere, and so having that full package makes you a proactive person, and you probably have that personality characteristic of being proactive, taking that action until you see change. And of course, we want this in our organization. And it's important too, when we're talking about organization fit and person organization fit, it's interesting too, because you might have noticed, if you've had a lot of work experience or been with a lot of companies, some companies may not actually want this in full effect. Why do I say that? Well, some organizations they want to do business as usual, status quo. You may have worked at an organization that was slow, that all of their processes were inefficient, and you could tell. And you might have been trying to show your proactive personality by seeing the opportunity to increase effectiveness and taking initiative and taking action, in the environment beat it out of you. The organization denounced you. You got negative consequences for such a proactive personality. And what we know about the situation strength theory is that the situation can impact the way our personality manifests into behaviors. So it's very interesting too, on the organizational side, that they don't hire these proactive personality types, right? And then put them into environments where change is not even going to be able to occur. Same with the self-monitors too. The self-monitors are really good at adaptability. They're really good at adjusting. And so they would be best placed in an organization that has a little bit more flux, that has a little bit more change elements to it. And they might maybe get a little bored with so much stability. And these proactive personality types would definitely get frustrated in an organization that allows for no room for change and is very rigid. So it's interesting too, when we really get deep inside of this, to think about fit and to think about the intersection of, again, personality and organizational context, because though that dynamic is really important for us to truly understand what's going on. All right, so that is it for some of those key personality characteristics that relate to business success. We talked about core self-evaluation, we talked about self-monitoring and proactive personality. I wonder which one you identify with the most. Next, we're going to be talking about the dark triad. We're always talking about the good, but what about the bad? And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the two major personality measurements and theories that we have in our business world today. So definitely check out all of those videos, and I'll see you guys next time.